Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to the Cricket Happening Show. And on this Cricket Happening Show, I'll be talking about the youngest debutant to score a century for India. I'm talking about opener Prithvi Shaw, just 18 years of age. And he today became the youngest Indian player to score a century on Test debut at the age of 18, thus breaking the previous record, which was held for quite a long time by a person called Abbas Ali Beg of Hyderabad. So it was Prithvi Shaw, the young player, just 18 years of age, today scored really a blistering century. He made 134 today with some spanking boundaries in that. And let me tell you, one would really doff our hats away to this youngster at age of 18, becoming the youngest Indian player to score a century on Test debut as he did against the West Indies, which helped India to a score of 364 for 4 at close of play on the first day of the first test of the series, which was played at Rajkot. And also, there is one more news which is coming in from England. At the age of 35, I would say the grandson of the late great batsman from England, Dennis Compton. So you know whom I'm talking about. None other than Nick Compton, who showed a lot of early promise. He came, he did well, but then he started fading away. And finally now he has hung up his boots in international cricket. Nick Compton. And I'll be just having a look at it and just talking very briefly about this wonderful player, Nick Compton. Well, but first we are heading towards the first day's play in the first Test match between West Indies and India, which was played at Rajkot. Now the toss was won by India. It was 39 degrees at Rajkot, and there were two debutants on either. There was a debutant on either side, with India having Prithvi Shaw making a memorable debut, and at the other side it was the young, promising pace bowler Sherman Lewis who replaced Kemar Roche. Now, and first I will talk about the records that Prithvi Shaw broke today. As you know, he's a very short in stature, but he had a wide repertoire of strokes, and it was really pleasing to the eye to see that Prithvi Shaw was basically he was punching well, in the sense he basically has this sort of predominant thing of actually going on the back foot and playing. So that really was really good to watch as he scored runs on both the sides of the wicket, but he's very strong square on the square side of the wicket. And today he scored a century in 99 balls, and there have been only at a younger age. I mean, he's the one, as far as India is concerned. Now he holds the record for a century on debut at the youngest of ages. Now that is Prithvi Shaw, just aged 18, and also the other thing is the fourth youngest Test debutant to score 100, second youngest to score a Test 100 for India, and third fastest 100 on Test debut if you go by the balls faced. Now he is another one. He has another record as well, and one would not know that Prithvi Shaw on his first class debut scored a century in the Ranji Trophy, and there are only two batsmen who have done it in the past in all world cricket. One is India's former great player Gundappa Vishwanath, and former Australian player Dirk Wellham, who are the ones who have achieved. There are only three. So Prithvi Shaw is someone who figures in the three. And as I said, Abbas Ali Beg was the one who actually had a long time record standing in his name, as he scored 112 when he was just aged 20 against England at Old Trafford in the year 1959. And here comes Prithvi Shaw like a breath of fresh air to actually get a century on his test debut. What a knock it was. In fact, I also have to say that fastest turns on debut in terms of balls. There have been Shikhar Dhawan has scored in 85 balls, Dwayne Smith of West Indies scored in 93 balls, Prithvi Shaw 99. So definitely it is a memorable debut by this youngster, and I'm sure he has a great future ahead of him after the performance that he did. Yes, one thing that I would like to say is that this particular effort, what he made today, was 134 runs, which had 19 boundaries written all over it. So that was tremendous stuff from this youngster. Well, just talking about the game here, on the first day, as I said, India won the toss and elected to bat. In fact, India did not have a good start. In fact, Shannon Gabriel, in his very first over, got an inducker on to KL Rahul, and Rahul has been quite suspect against that particular delivery. If you see, the ball had seamed back sharply. There was good pace in the delivery from Shannon Gabriel. Rahul came forward and he could not get a bat onto it. He was trapped on the pads, and that was a plumb LBW. It would have gone on to hit the middle stump, and KL Rahul was a victim pretty early on, as he was out for naught, as he was LBW bowled Gabriel for naught. So that was the wicket number 1, and India scored at 3 for 1. And after that, once KL Rahul was out, Prithvi Shaw is someone who was absolutely unperturbed. He started playing his stroke, started creaming the bowlers through the offside. Now, the one thing in favor of India was that other than Shannon Gabriel, they had a very inexperienced bowling attack. Kemar Rose, as you know, was not playing, and they had more problems with their captain Jason Holder pulling out with an ankle injury. So that really created a lot of problems for the West Indian bowlers, as then Kimo Paul and Sherman Lewis on his debut. So Kimo Paul, as you know, he's not played a lot of test matches, and that really started telling on them very heavily. And Prithvi Shaw started as sort of a real assault on the West Indies bowlers, as he was punching beautifully off the back foot. He was playing his drive square on the offside and on the leg side as well. And he was a treat to watch, let me tell you. But full credit to Prithvi Shaw. One should not be going into reading that, but also let's all understand that Prithvi Shaw is just 18 and playing his first ever test match on in his international career. And for hats off to Prithvi Shaw for his knock. And so Prithvi Shaw started it, and suddenly, and Cheteshwar Pujara was there along with him, and Cheteshwar Pujara also joined in the fun, as Cheteshwar Pujara also started scoring boundaries at a very good pace, and he was quite equal to the task. And suddenly Pujara was also getting into his element, and this was really spelling a lot of problems for the West Indies bowlers, as it was a big partnership that happened after KL Rahul's wicket. It was a 206 runs partnership that was put by Prithvi Shaw, and as I said, Prithvi Shaw at the age of 18 scored a century of 99 balls. He pumped his fist as he got to his century, and what a cricketer. I mean, he has definitely shown that he has arrived. And one was seeing Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane and Ravi Shastri actually standing and applauding this very short youngster, Prithvi Shaw. And as you know, he's the Under-19 World Cup captain too. He won the Under-19 World Cup for India. And Prithvi Shaw take a bow. And suddenly the score started moving along at such a rapid pace. There was no effect. I mean, whether it was Shannon Gabriel or it was Sherman Lewis, Kimo Paul, Devendra Bishu, the right-arm leggy, or Roston Chase, the off-spinner, it didn't matter. As far as Prithvi Shaw was concerned, he just went along in a merry manner as the score at 209. But that was the time Sherman Lewis celebrated his maiden test wicket, and he got a big wicket, that of Cheteshwar Pujara. Now this was, Cheteshwar Pujara was looking good. He was batting on 86 with 14 boundaries. He was looking good for 100, and that too, as you know, it was Cheteshwar Pujara's home ground, and he would have loved to got a century, but there was disappointment as Pujara himself was responsible for that stroke as he poked at a delivery which you could have very well left alone from Sherman Lewis, and that was it. He deflected it, chained out it behind the wickets, made no mistake, and that was wicket number 1 in his international career for Sherman Lewis. And what a great joy for this youngster Sherman Lewis. So Pujara gone, caught Dowdage bowled Lewis for 86 with 14 boundaries, scored at 209 for 2, and Prithvi Shaw was joined in by his captain Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli came in and he was looking in very good touch. I mean, he definitely, today Virat Kohli, I wouldn't say he hit a lot of boundaries. He basically tried to grind an innings. He was trying to stay at the crease, which was good to see, as there was no, just because the score had looked good, Virat Kohli was not taking any risk. He was really playing cricket in a very measured manner. And then finally Prithvi Shaw, who had reached 134 with 19 boundaries, finally there was relief for West Indies as they saw the back of Prithvi Shaw, and that was done by Devendra Bishu, the right arm leggy, who actually he bowled a ball which Prithvi Shaw was trying to punch the ball through the cover region, but in the process he could not actually get it right, and in the process he actually hit it back to Devendra Bishu, who held it. It was just before tea that Prithvi Shaw was dismissed. As he walked, there was a standing ovation for him from the crowd, and why not? Prithvi Shaw now holding the record for a Test century on debut at an age 18. Now that is the new record for India, as Prithvi Shaw walked back to the pavilion after making 134, and it was a princely knock of Prithvi Shaw. So Virat Kohli was there at the crease. Ajinkya Rahane joined him. Ajinkya Rahane definitely was one player who definitely was not looking comfortable at all at the crease. He was swishing at a ball, he was getting beaten a lot of times, and it took time for Ajinkya Rahane to really settle down, and finally settle down. And then from 232, a partnership followed between Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane for the 4th wicket, and Ajinkya Rahane made 41 with 5 boundaries when Roston Chase picked up his first wicket, when he got the wicket of Ajinkya Rahane, and the score read 337, as Rahane got an edge to the ball. The ball was actually skidding away, and he had gone on to the gone on the onside to actually middle the delivery, but it was all over as Ajinkya Rahane was caught by Dowdage on the bowling of Chase, and that was the end of Ajinkya Rahane, out for 41 with 5 boundaries. Kohli basically asked him whether he needed a review, but Rahane said, "I don't need a review," and he started walking back. So Rahane was gone, 337 for 4, and then Rishabh Pant walked out as a night watchman, one could say, because Ravindra Jadeja was slated next, but Rishabh Pant walked ahead of him, and he was there with Virat Kohli. And he also hit a 6 of the bowling of Shannon Gabriel when he hooked him high, wide and handsome into the crowd for a 6. And finally, when stumps were drawn for the day, India were on a healthy 364 for 4. Virat Kohli was not out on 72 with 4 boundaries, and Rishabh Pant not out 17 of 21 deliveries with had 1 4 and 1 6. Now, and the second new ball has already been taken, and definitely there will be a sort of a battle in the morning with Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant negotiating the West Indian bowlers. And tomorrow West Indies would be expecting that their captain Jason Holder definitely gets to bowl, and that is, according to me, very important for them, because Shannon Gabriel, if you look at the bowling figures, 18 overs 1 maiden, 1 for 66 for Shannon Gabriel. I thought he was very good. Kimo Paul, 10 overs 1 maiden, none for 41. Sherman Lewis getting his maiden wicket in the form of Pujara, 12 overs no maiden, 1 for 56. Devendra Bishu, 30 overs 1 maiden, 113 runs and 1 wicket. Roston Chase, 16 overs, 67 runs and 1 wicket. And Brathwaite, 3 overs, none for 11. So that was the match situation at Rajkot on the first day, and the second day, as I said, promises to be a good day as well. So one has to wait and watch as to what really comes up tomorrow. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about on this cricket show is going to be from England. And the reason I say that, I will be starting off by saying that one would always remember one of the great cricketers from England of yesteryear, none other than we are talking about the former great player Dennis Compton. Now, Dennis Compton's Dennis Compton's grandson, who is Nick Compton, as you would remember when he was scoring in a prolific manner in the English county cricket scene when he started, and one was really saying there was a lot of talk in England circles saying that he's another one who's going to follow the footsteps of his father Dennis Compton. But Nick Compton is basically, as you know, he's a sort of a very sedate player if you compare it. Dennis Compton was a tremendous stroke maker, but Nick Compton was someone who likes to bide his time at the crease. And today, the reason I'm talking about Nick Compton is that Nick Compton has hung up his boots from the game of cricket at the age of 35. Now, Compton, if you look at it, it was a very checkered career he had. As I said, he made a lot of noise when he initially started playing cricket for the English county and slowly started, and then he was touted as one of the real talents to emerge from England. But I have to say that Nick Compton, unfortunately, in the Test arena, could not live up to the promise, as he played only 16 Tests for England, which was, to me, was a surprise that Nick Compton faded away. And as you would remember, he was Alistair Cook's opening partner when the famous opening pair after Andrew Strauss retired. That particular opening pair of Alistair Cook and Strauss was over, and Nick Compton joined. And Nick Compton got immediate success after joining in a tour against England, when England who had gone to India, and they were having a drought whereby it was their first win in 28 years. He did it, and Nick Compton definitely did well over there, as he scored a lot of runs against India as well. And and then when he went to New Zealand, he scored back-to-back centuries in 2 Test matches in Dunedin and Wellington. That was in the year 2013, and also he was playing well. He played against South Africa as well. Made 85 and 49, and he was also one of the Wisden's 5 cricketers of the year in the year 2013. And this was some of his highlights of his cricket career. And then finally, if you look at his career graph there, he scored 12,000 first-class runs at an average of 40.42, and he had 27 hundreds in his checkered career. And now I'm told he has retired, and he's going to work as he's already working as an analyst during the summer for Sky and ESPN Cricinfo. And he also has a lot of varied interests in media and photography, and also and a few business ventures as well. So he has decided that it's time for him to concentrate on other avenues, and he has said goodbye to cricket. But definitely one thought that Nick Compton was a case of fading away too soon, because the amount of promise that he showed when he actually entered international cricket, and I thought he definitely did not live up to the promise as one would have thought after the way he played, that he would definitely follow in the footsteps of his great grandfather Dennis Compton. But unfortunately that was not the case. But nevertheless, I wish Nick Compton good luck in his whatever ventures that he's undertaking after saying goodbye to cricket. And on this score, it's about time for me to pull the curtain down on this daily cricket show of mine today by bidding you all a very good night.